All right, so let's go ahead and look at this table that I have already pre-filled for you. And the first thing we are going to write down is what the form of a indirect variation is. So y equals k over x. All right, we should always write that down whenever we are doing this, just so we can keep track of it. Okay, so now, one of the requirements is that for indirect variation is to have a line that is nonlinear, meaning it is not straight, and then also have an equation that is in the form of y equals k over x. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and plot the lines or plot these points on this graph and see if we get a straight line or if we get a non-straight line. So remember X and Y, those are ordered pairs, X comma Y. So we're gonna graph each one. So X comma Y, the first one will be 1 comma 40. So you're really gonna have to kind of guesstimate in this because they're counting up by fives. So I'm going to say that 1 is really close to the line. So I'm gonna go 1 up to 40. So we're about right here. Uh-oh, about right there. All right, and then we're gonna go 2 to 20. So over 2 comma 20 over to 2, and then 20 is right here. Um, 4 comma 10. So 4 is a little closer to 5 when we have right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, so I'm gonna change the size of the dot. So let me go ahead and do it again. All right, and then we have 5 comma 8. So 5 and then 8 is probably around right there. Remember, my dots are a little bigger now. And then we have 8 comma 5. So go over to the right closer to 10 and then up to 5 about right there. 10 comma 4. So we'll be right about right there. And then 20 comma 2. So we're going to be close to the 0 line and go to 20. It's about right there. All right, so we kind of estimated exactly where it's going to be placed. But if you look at this, that is a curve. It is not a straight line. So that tells me that this table of numbers or of X and Y values would be a indirect variation. However, we can also write an equation for this table to see if it is indeed a direct variation. So let's look at it like this. We have X values and we have Y values, and we also have a Y and we have an X here, which means we are going to have to solve for X, for K. Okay. We will have to solve for K. Remember, K is constant, meaning it should be the same each time. So I, for one, am going to do each ordered pair just to show you. At some points, you will have this many numbers, but you should have a calculator to do it. So it would be an easier thing. So here we have y equals 40. So I'm going to say 40 equals, we don't know what k is, but we know x is 1. K over 1, in order to get k by itself, we have to multiply both sides by 1 over 1, right? Because we're doing it by 1. That cancels out. 40 times 1 is 40. So it says k equals 40. All right. So let's do another one just to see if k equals 40. I'm going to skip down and do this one right here. It is always the rule of thumb to do each one of them to make sure, but just for time's sake, I'm going to just do another one, skip down. So my y value is 8. I don't know what my k value is, and my x value is 5. Okay. Remember, I need to get k by itself, so I am going to multiply both sides by 5. Okay. And 8 times 5 is 40 equals k. All right. So that means I know because I've already done this that each one of these would equal to 40 for K. So that means our equation would be Y equals 40, because that's where K goes, over X. And that is the indirect variation form. So that means that this table is indeed an indirect variation.